Hello, hello, hi! Welcome back to Pico 8. Today I want to make a level and make it a bit prettier. I want to draw some pipes, maybe draw some backgrounds, and yeah, we'll just see how far we get. So this is what we have right now. We have some rectangles, but in Pico 8 it's also quite easy to draw sprites. So you can go to the sprite editor tab, like we did with the bird, and we will draw part of a pipe. Let's see, I want to make it 16 pixels wide, so I'll increase the zoom to 2. So now we're taking up a bigger space here, and I will go here, use this rectangle, and just basically draw a rectangle like this. And can I hold control? I'm holding control to keep it, to make it filled as well. And I also want to have like a top part like this. That'll be basically, this will be drawn on top of this to indicate the end of a pipe. And perhaps I will actually make this pipe a bit thinner, so that it's so that the top part or the bottom part is more pronounced, more visible. And maybe just dot here, just to, okay. So now I have these two parts, and let's have a look at what I want to do with them. I have this drawing here to explain. At the moment we have these rectangles, and they can be of any height basically. So they can be 51, 42, anything. But our sprite is always 16 times 16. So what I'm thinking of doing is I would have to figure out how many 16s, how many of these sprites would it take to draw this pipe, keeping in mind that I might need to start drawing them a bit off screen, like so, to make sure that they all fit. Let me see if I can select them. So if I were to draw, let's say 3 pipes, then I would have to start drawing from here, so from like a minus Y position. And then we can just draw the top part at the final direction, like so. So this way we don't have to actually draw a pipe here, because we don't, and that's good because we don't actually know how long the pipes will be. That will be generated by our code. So let's try and do this, shall we? Okay, so I'll create another function here, function draw. This is on the pipes object, and I'll add it to the table that we're returning from the pipes. So now this is what we will use to draw our pipes, and I will go here and I will call it immediately. So pipe dot draw, and give it the pipe itself as an argument, because we need to have access to this specific pipe's x coordinates. So I will now take what I had there in the function. I know that I'm giving in a pipe, so I will call this self. So in this function, the self variable will now refer to the pipe that we are passing in when we call it. This means that I will have to go and replace all of these occurrences of pipe with self. Pipe, top Y. Do we have any more? Let's see. Okay, these two. And I believe that's it. Okay, so self, 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 self. And now, if we did everything correctly, we should have the same thing that we had before. And we do. That's great. So now let's make it a bit more advanced. So we need to, let's see, what do we need to do? We need to get the height of the top part. And the height of the top part is, it will be pipe dot top dot h. So that's the height, and the sprite size is 16. So I'll create that variable here, pipe size, pipe p size, maybe p size. You know what? I'll just leave it. I'll just hard code it. I'll leave it to be 16 because it's. I think it's quite obvious from the context what we are doing. So to figure out how many pieces we need to divide the height of the pipe by 16, and to make sure that we would rather have more pieces than fewer pieces, so we need to round up the result. So local n for number of pieces equals self.top.h divided by 16, and all of this needs to go into a function called ceil, which rounds up a floating point, basically a decimal number, a number with a comma and some other bits at the end, which are called floating point numbers in programming. Okay, so now we have now we know this, and we also know the x, and we know the y. So now we can already draw the top part, I think. So let's say for I equals 1, n to end. So n times, we will do SPR, so drawing a sprite. We need to give it the number of the sprite, so that's number 2. I'll actually write help sprite. Let's see what help we get. So we need n, which is the number. We have that. We have x. We will have y, and then we need the width and the height as well, because we are using a sprite that is larger than 8, which is the default width and height. So top.x. Let's just make y top.y, maybe. Yeah. And now let's top.h. What was the help? Y. Okay, and the height is actually multiples of 8. So we want to say 2 times 8 and 2 times 8 for 16. And also, we actually want to draw them one after the other. So we will have to keep track of y. So top.y. This will be y, and after drawing the sprite for the next loop, we want the next part of the pipe to appear below this part. So we will do y plus equals, or y equals y plus 16. So 16 more than it was before. Local top. Okay. So top does not exist. It's on the pipe, so which is called the self. And this is also self, and now let's run. Okay, quite good. We are drawing something, but as you can see in the second pipe, it's a bit misaligned. So that's because the pipe is of such a length that we should start drawing the pipe earlier off screen. Let's see how we can figure out where should we start drawing the pipe. So we have, if the height is, or if the pipe.h, so that's the height. So let me go back to my sketch. So I'll get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this, get rid of this. So we can do, so let's say that we know that this is stroke width, this is, let's say 1.5. The whole length is no. Let's say the length is 50. And we're drawing it from here. So we need to find this part basically. So we need to say, so it will be however many parts we had. So n times 16. So this is the total length of what we will be drawing. And we will deduct the pipe's height. So yeah, because the boxes that we are drawing are going to be taller than the pipe, so we need to figure out how much taller they are. So we'll need to figure out this part here basically, and then we need to start drawing the boxes off screen by that amount. So that will be the initial y, and we will put the y here, and then we will increment the y by 16. So now, okay, something is wrong. N times 16 minus self dot top height. Okay, and now we're actually offsetting it more, so we want to offset it we want to offset it in the other direction basically. So we can do we can do put this into parentheses, so calculate this and just do it, just -1 this, and now they line up perfectly. And I think actually the pipes are quite wide, so maybe I'll just make them 16 and 16, and now good. And I think actually this box is a bit wider than it should be. So the height is, I think actually, so this would make it 16 times 16. Okay, perfect. So okay, let's just keep it as 16. And we can now comment out the top part. And now this works. Perfect. Actually, we also need the we need to draw the top of the sprite. So now we know where y is at currently. So we can do SBR, look up the number of the sprite. So that's number 4. So number 4, x is self dot top dot x, y is y minus, so I want to draw it, so if I were to draw this here, then we would have some blank space, so I want to offset it by this amount of blank space. So I know that the top part is 1, 2, 3, 4 pixels, so I will do 16 minus 4. So that will be 16 minus 4 is, I'll just put this local top part height equals 16 minus 4. No, sorry, height is actually, height will be 4. So let's say y minus 16 plus top part height. So this hopefully will now position this correctly, and we need to say 2, 2 because it's a length of 2. It's a size of 2. 2 times 8. So let's see what we get. And okay, I think that's right. I'll just quickly fill in this bit here as well, just so that we know that we are drawing them from in the correct spot. And yeah, it looks like we maybe not actually. Yeah, not quite. What is wrong? Let's just see. Maybe I got a little confused. If we draw it at y, okay, so that's not right. If I draw it at y minus 16, that's actually maybe good. Okay, yeah, it will have to be y minus 16 because we want it to be in the pipe still. So it's actually okay that it is overlapping, that this empty part is overlapping with our pipes. So yeah, sorry about that. But we got it working now. Might hit the height though, still, we'll see. Maybe we need it later. And now we need to do the same for the bottom part. So we need to do, we need to find the bottom n. So this will be seal self.bottom.h divided by 16. Local, and y can actually continue to be, so y can be, can it be y plus 16? It can be y plus 16. So now we should be at, oh no, we already set it to, we already incremented by 16, so it'll be just y plus, is there a gap? We don't have a gap. We don't have a gap value. So let's see, we have the, it'll just be pipe2.y, of course. So y will be self.bottom.y. We need the loop again, so we will do this. Y is still this. And yeah, maybe this will just work. And this needs to be bottom n. It looks like it's just working indeed. And we need to do the top part as well to round off the pipe. And for this we will use another function in the sprite function. So if you see the last two parameters that it can accept are flip x and flip y. So flip means that it will be mirrored in a certain direction. So we don't want to flip on the h, but we do want to flip on the y. And now, of course, it's not at the y. Oh, actually, maybe we should, no, we don't want to draw it first because we want it to be on top. So let's see. It will be at self.bottom.y. Looks good. And now let's get rid of this. And okay, we have some pipes. Just trying to make sure that there are no false positives. Okay, that was quite good, but all right, okay, perfect. We have some pipes. Thank you very much. Let's also draw some backgrounds. So I was thinking that we could do this in an automatic way. So I will create a new tab actually for this. Backgrounds. And let's say function draw backgrounds. So what I'm thinking is I want to draw some circles that will overlap and hopefully give the impression of a hilly countryside. So imagine that these are all filled in as well, and that they don't have any stroke, and hopefully this will give the effect of them being, of them being like a rolling hills in the background of sorts. So I will do what I want to do. I want to have some random numbers to generate some circles of a random size. So it will be something like for gonna define a variable. Let's call it local random numbers. Very original. And now we will do for I equals for I equals 1, and let's say maybe like 10, do, end. So this is outside of the function, meaning that this will be run immediately when the game loads, and it will only be run once, which is good because we don't want to calculate new random values in each loop, because that would make it like very, very distracting. It would make it appear like it would just be, maybe I can show you, but it would be a mess. So we want to do add, quickly check what the add function does. So add table value, so we want to add to the random numbers, and the value will be RND, and again we can floor this RND. Let's say 1 to 20, and let's say plus 20, like maybe, okay, 1 to 40, let's say, and plus 20, meaning that it will always be at least 20, which is good. And close this function. So now we should have some random numbers. And now in draw backgrounds we want to do for I equals 1, length of random numbers, do, end, random numbers at I, local s for size, and let's do circ fill, help circ. So circ fill just draws a circle with a radius, and what was it? X, Y, and radius. So first, let's say, what can the X be? The X can be maybe I times, so if I say 10, it'll be 10, 20, maybe say I times 20. Y will be 0, and this radius will be S. Yeah, let's just say S. Let's see what we get. And the color will be this dark green color, so color number 3, it says. S and 3. And now I want to go to my main game draw function. Here, draw. We draw the sprite, we draw the pipes, and now let's draw backgrounds. Draw backgrounds. Okay. Unexpected symbol. Okay, there's a dot here. That should have been a comma. Okay, that's good. Oh, okay, it can't be 0. It should be 128 because it needs to be below the screen. Okay, and I also want to, this needs to be 128. Let me see, how does circ fill work again? Help, circ. So draw a radius, draw a circle with a radius of r. So I want the y to be the middle of, I want the middle of the circle to be at the exact bottom of the screen. So I will do 128 minus s divided by 2. Okay, that's something at least. And I would ideally also want it to start from, can this be negative, I wonder? No, it cannot. So interesting. I don't know what to do. We can leave it be for now. And I'm also wondering why these are, I will put a random number here. Random. Okay, so this is what happens when we calculate the number on every single frame. But why is the size always the same? Print s. It's always 20. Why is it always 20? For I, floor, R&D. Interesting. For I equals, what could I be doing wrong? Random numbers. Floor, R&D. R&D 1. What do I get if I do R&D 140? I need to print that as well. Print R&D 140 50. That's fine. Okay, maybe I'm using R&D wrong. Help. Oh, okay. From X up to, but not including X. Ah, okay, so it just needs to be 40. Okay, perfect, that works. And it can be a bit smaller, I think. Much smaller. Okay, that looks good. And I'm actually thinking now that my pipe is the same color as this background, I think the easiest part is to, maybe I'll give just a white background around my pipe. So something like this. Okay, and ooh. And let's put this here, this here. Okay, pipes are working. What happens if I do this? Does this break it? It does break it a little bit. That's fine. I'll just leave this here. Maybe add a thicker border here. Okay, good enough. And I will need to draw the pipes after drawing the background. So I will move the backgrounds call to maybe right here. Draw backgrounds. Up. I cannot. Okay, perfect. Maybe it would be better if the pipes were a different color. Let's try and quickly fill this with blue. I'll try and fill this as well. Let's see. I don't know. don't love it, but it's fine. Okay, and now let's also, I want to draw the background a different color as well, and we can just do this by putting a value to CLS. This will make the screen, if we need to give it a number value, and the number will correspond to a color, and CLS will make the screen that color. So I want it to be blue, so let's say 12 is a good number for that. 12, and now we have a blue sky. Okay, so I think I'll stop here. This was already quite complicated. We didn't quite manage to make a level, but we got close, I would say. And we can continue with that next time. And I hope this was interesting. And next time we will try and we'll see various ways at creating a level. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me, and see you next time.